Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we have got some USMC fire squads which have recently come through, and I thought it'd be nice to do a unboxing video on them. These guys have just come. They look quite good. We've already got a squad of them, but we've quite played them, and I thought it'd be interesting for you guys to have a look at some of the new models from Dust and the Dust range. So as well as these guys today, the USMC fire squad, I've also got for you a red banner opening for the Spetsnaz, as well as I have got a heavy anti-tank Grenadiers squad which has also come through. So today we will be opening all of them, and there will be a link in the description of where you can get these from War Factory PL and Palo Parentes Dust 1947. So stay tuned and we'll be checking these guys out shortly. Okay, so to start with, we've got the USMC Fire Squad. As you can see, they come in quite a nice box. There's 5 guys in here. You've got 3 with bars, 1 with an SMG and 1 with a heavy MG. So let's just go ahead and open these guys up quickly. As always, comes beautifully packaged, boxed quite nicely. You can keep the box here for artwork. I might do that. These guys are quite nice. Dust has always packaged their models good. I've never had a problem with them. So as you can see here, what you get is them in a half clan pack. Now this set was from Fantasy Flight Games, so this does mean that I have got one of the old cards for them. However, we are on the new cards. This is irrelevant, but that's not really what we're about here at the model review. We're more on the infantry, so let's just get them out. Dust always packages their models in little 1x1 bags, as you can see here. So what I'm just going to do is open these up, get them lined up, and then we'll do a quick review, and I'll get the card out for them as well so you guys can see the stats. Okay, so we're back now with the USMC Devil Dog or USMC Fire Squad. I've just dug a card out because obviously in the old set I got the big card. So let's just take a look at their stats quick. You've got 3 bars, 130 cal MG and an MP4 submachine gun. Mainly because this squad is the fire squad, they do pack a lot of anti-infantry. However, they are lacking in anti-tank. They've got March Mover 5, they're Strength 1 infantry, which seems to be the way Dust has been going recently with their models. This is quite different because some of the starter units are Strength 3 and Strength 4. So looking at the models, I'll just bring them forward. This is the entire squad that you will receive. So to start with, here's the sergeant. He would have a machete on his back, however, that is pinged off, not because of quality of model, rather because of postage. This was chucked over our gate, so at least it did survive. However, as you can see, if we get the camera to focus, high quality models again. I mean, look at the face details, the gun, outstanding details as always from Dust. The high cast resin molds that they use make these models brilliant. So this would be the sergeant. I think it'd be pretty cool in a, well, I think the colour scheme they have them is the best colour scheme for the models. This is this is a sergeant for the squad. We'll move on to the MG, the 30 cal. This guy's quite good for suppressive fire. As you can see again, the face detail is quite good. The guns on the longer weapons, as you can see here, do bend slightly. You can fix this with hot water and just gently warp it back into shape. However, for our games, I'm not going to do that. I'll just leave it as is, but that's up to you. Looking at the backpacks, again, you've got the machete. Again, just the high quality detail, attention to detail on the back, the spade, the hats, the gloves. What I am liking about the new Dust kits is that the quality of detail is much better than some of the starter units, which isn't to offend the starting units, it's just to show the improvement over time. So that's the MG. Moving on to one of the bar troopers. This is your standard USMC rifleman in any of the squads. If I was to read out the stats, against Strength 1 infantry, they're rolling 4 dice. Against Strength 2, they're rolling 3. So they're quite powerful for anti-infantry purposes. which I guess if you're playing USMC is what you're coming up against. So I can recommend these guys to go up armies like the PLA, which rely on infantry. However, the strength 1 does make them vulnerable, so stick them in cover. Use support weapons like the choppers or the mortar teams to lay down smoke, etc. This is overall, this was quite a good set. I like the Devil Dogs. We've played them somewhat over the last couple of games. I found you want to just keep them in cover and almost use them for long range firefights across cover. As you can see here, I've got them on the plinth, the rubble plinth. The scenery here that I use for display isn't made by Dust, but it's quite good city fighting scenery, which for Dust is brilliant if you're fighting in a city. I can also recommend the Dust scenery. You can go to the scenery section. I've done a couple pages already on the scenery. Again, like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. We're just going to go on to the red banner in a minute. And yeah, see you guys in a minute. So we're back again with the red banner for the Spetsnaz. I haven't opened one of these models yet. I actually haven't even got one, so it'll be quite interesting to do a review. From the box, beautifully painted front cover model. I quite like the Dust colour schemes for the models. So let's just crack this bad boy open and do a quick review. Okay, so we're back now with the red banner for the Spetsnaz. This is a hero for the Spetsnaz. He's quite like a rally sort of unit. He has got Follow Me, Officer and Red Banner, which we'll get into in a minute. This set did come with one of the new cards, which most of the new sets will now. Very few of the old sets will. If they're from Fantasy Flight or before Palo Apprentice Dust, then they might come with either both sets of cards or the old cards. However, that's not a problem. You can get a set of the new cards deck quite cheaply from Palo Apprentice and Madik at War Factory PL. They're quite good for keeping up to date with the game and improving. However, let's look at the model. This is one of my favourite models for detail. Just the flag alone. I mean, you can see the writing, the logo for them. It is beautiful. The curve in the flag, the uniform. I mean, the attention to detail on the face there. I mean, this model is just brilliant. Very detailed Spetsnaz officer. A little bit of warping on the back of the knife handle there. Not much you can do. You can remold them. However, the principle of this, I'm just going to leave it as is. Very, very, just excellent quality casting now from Dust. I mean, this attention to detail that I've done, I just can't get over it, how beautiful the models are coming out from Dust. So, very good. I like them. And we'll just get onto the card. So, that's the model. Going on to the card. He's quite a unique card, the Red Banner. There's the card, there's its stats. So he's got the Officer Action, Follow Me, and Red Banner rule. He's Strength 1, which is quite weak, but then again, Spetsnaz are mainly Strength 1. They're mainly the equivalent of the USMC, I guess. This is kind of the way Dust is going, is for Strength 1 infantry, to make those Strength 3 and 4 hard to kill. So, turn his card over. Just read the stats out. So he's got Follow Me, where he can take a Follow Me special action once per turn. All friendly infantry units with infantry 1 or 2 within range 2, or if you're playing Dust Warfare, 20 centimeters or 8 inches, and are in line of sight, roll a dice. On the flag, they take an immediate move action with a move rating of 2. So this is very good for getting your infantry up early. He's got the Officer Action, which is pretty standard. They basically can use the Get Moving You Bunch of Monkeys and the Reinforcement rule. Just generally a good rule. More officers mean more activations. He's got the Red Banner, which is, I guess, is a unique rule. So all friendly infantry units within range 2 and are in line of sight row 3 dice when rallying. Now that can be crucial. If you've got a stun marker, that can leave your troops quite wide open. So this guy is definitely going to be helpful for getting off. He costs 14 armor points, so he's somewhat expensive. I'd play him as a secondary hero, by that, I mean you may play someone like Iron Joe and then him as well, but you wouldn't lead him as your main hero. So someone like Gale, these are all primary heroes, I call them. This guy seems to be a secondary hero, but overall, I'm really impressed with the model. He's got an AK-47, oh sorry, AK-45. That's a pretty standard gun, and he's also got the machete. But overall, this model, I'm really impressed with. We'll just give you one last look. I mean, the detail on the flag, you just don't get that anywhere else. That's real attention to detail. So the sculptors and designers at Dust, the hats off. That's beautiful. Try and get that focus a bit better just to show it. There you go. This was the model kit. Most of my models are in model kit, primed edition. Sorry, you can get the model kit. The model kit just needs to be assembled. Tends to be a bit cheaper, but sometimes the work hassle, it's not worth it. I just get the primed or premium. Premium are beautiful. We've got very few premium models, however I can highly recommend them if you want a uniform army. They are just the best. The painting team at Dust, they do a great job on them. So yeah, this has been the red banner for the Spetsnaz. We'll move on to the heavy anti-tank Grenadiers in a minute. I'll see you guys in a minute. And finally, for today's Let's Review, we've got the German heavy anti-tank Grenadiers for the Germans. I've got their cards here. This is the old Fantasy Flight Games box. We've just picked it up for the model, so this will have old cards. It may have new cards, but I've just got some of the spare cards we have here out. So let's crack these guys open and do a review. So just got the plastic off, and I forgot how big these boxes were compared to the new boxes. So opening it up, you can see it comes in a clam pack, and as predicted, it has got the big old cards on. You can use these, but I'd recommend buying the upgrade for the more up-to-date cards. Let's just put them to one way. So here we've got the Blitzkorps version and the Wehrmacht version of the anti-tank. I do believe that the German Blitzkorps version have got a laser, whereas the Wehrmacht have got what looks to be the equivalent of a ballistic version of a gun. Let's get them out. So here you get the Tommy Cookers, is the Wehrmacht, and the Death Rays, ironic, which is the Blitzkorps. So looking at the Blitzkorps one first, because I like Blitzkorps, here you got it. It's a 3-man crew of strength 3 infantry. They're quite slow, but we'll get into that in a minute. Now, as you can see, for a 3-man stand team, this is beautiful, as per always with the Dust models. This is the, as you can see, the head's lifted up here a bit, but the beauty of Dust models is everything pops back in. Quite a good looking kit, big gun, not a lot of warping, which is quite good. I mean, especially on the bullets here, as you can see how thin they are. I was expecting a little bit of warping, however, Dust kits seem to be getting better now and less warping, which is always good. So this is the Blitzkorps version. They're called the Death Rays. I'll just show you their card, read out a few of their stats. Let's put them up there. On their card, here you go. So they've got range 10, which is astronomical. These guys are hard-hitting units. They move 2, they can run 3, so they are slow. But however, they are strength 3 infantry, which is very strong now. I mean, you've seen some of the other units we've done reviews. They're mainly strength 1. Now, they do have one MG44Z. Now, I've used this with the Wehrmacht heavy assault troops, and it is overpowered against infantry. It annihilates infantry. It's got range 6. It's pretty much guaranteed to suppress a unit. Turning round, because they have got some special rules here. They've got damage resilience, what most of the heavy armoured Wehrmacht and Blitzkorps have. This is very useful, as it basically gives them a little bit of an extra chance for living. For each point of damage done on a Blitzkorps flag or a normal flag, that damage is neglected and does not apply. They're a support weapon, which means you can have one guy on a base and they choose which weapon to use, basically. And the beauty of the Blitzkrieg is laser, and it just keeps hitting on a flag. This is overpowered. I've known this to take out tanks because it just keeps hitting. You know, you start, we'll read out the stats. Let's look at a strength 7. So you roll 2 dice, doing 1 damage. You know, you get that flags, you get those constantly, get those big streaks. You can knock out something like an IS-2 or the Mao Zedong, or, I mean, even any strength, even the Devastator, I guess. So long as it doesn't have damage resilience, which can be a little bit of a pain. That's mainly, however, on the SSU tanks, you find damage resilience. Moving on to the Tommy Cookers, which is the Wehrmacht version. As you can see again, beautiful miniatures. The only difference mainly is it's a ballistic weapon, and the Wehrmacht troopers have open heads. That's really the main difference. But again, the face details is just outstanding. There's the sergeant. We'll see if we can get a close up on him. Yeah, see, you can see his jawline, the chins, the eyes. Beautiful casting from Dust as always. No major warping. No, none at all actually. The castings come out fine. So Dust models are really well casted compared to some other things like Games Workshop, where mold lines occur. You have to scrape them out, refix it. Dust, there's not that problem. Very long weapons can sometimes get a little bit of warp, but apart from that, there's no major problem with these kits. We'll just give you a front view. There you go. Back and the side view. Back view. And what a side view. So looking at the stats for the Tommy Cookers, they are Wehrmacht, so they've got a slightly better range comparison. They've got strength 12 and they do about the same damage. However, they haven't got the same, oops, sorry guys, they haven't got the same sort of damage or power behind it with the laser, because obviously it can keep rolling. They move the same and the same strength infantry, so either or they're going to be equally the same. They've got range 12, however these guys are doing a pack cannon, so they do splash. They've got the grenade weapon, so they're gonna, infantry aren't going to get a cover save. This the gun will instantly knock out strength 1, strength 2 tanks, which is very useful. Those light scout walkers at the start, if you can get these guys within line of sight, game's over for them. And does relatively good damage against some higher strength tanks. It's got 1 to 2 against the strength 7, so not likely to knock out anything, however will do some serious damage. Looking at the back, they've only got damage resilience and support weapon. So same as the other ones. However, I do believe these guys are cheaper. These guys cost 10, whereas the Blitzkrieg version, the Death Rays, cost 13. So these guys are cheaper, but you do lose that re-roll to hit almost with the laser rule. So depends how you want to play. It also depends what army. If you're playing Blitzkrieg army, you're obviously going to play Blitzkrieg. So that has been the review today. We have gone over the USMC Fire Squad Red Banner and the 2 Tommy Cookers and Death Ray squads that have come through the post recently. So guys, remember, like, comment and subscribe what you want to see next. Subscribers will maybe getting some special interviews from Madik in Birmingham. That reminds me, in Birmingham, check the Dust Facebook page for the Birmingham NEC tourney. Madik and Leon from Dust UK and War Factory PL will both be there. Recommend it. You can go out, see some of the Dust models, maybe get a few games, speak to the creators behind it, and really get into the Dust universe. Anyway, that's it from me, the model reviewer. I will see you guys next week.